Thank you so much.
Thank you.
For being here. So, the Iranian president, Dr. Hassan Rouhani, is on his way to New York for General Assembly.
Right.
Do you intend to meet him for Amir's release?
Well, I would certainly welcome a meeting with President Rouhani. There's no plan for that right now. I'm here basically to continue to raise attention around Mr. Hekmati's case in hopes that President Rouhani understands that the American people and I myself as a member of Congress, we are watching very closely how Iran handles this case. But I would certainly welcome a meeting if one could be arranged.
Perfect. Amir was arrested during the former Iranian president. Have you sensed any difference in tone or approach by the Iranian side since Dr. Rouhani's presidency?
Well, there's certainly been a change in the nature of the relationship between the United States and Iran, and that is a sort of a prerequisite to being able to deal with Mr. Hekmati's case. But having said that, there has been modest progress. Certainly the fact that we are in negotiation. And I know that the President of the United States spoke with President Rouhani a year ago at the last General Assembly, and they spoke about Amir's case. And I know that Secretary Kerry and others within the State Department that have been involved in the P5+1 negotiations have raised this case. That was never happening under the previous Iranian administration. So there's clearly a different tone. And I know that puts President Rouhani in a difficult position in terms of the Iranian political situation, but he has so far seemed willing to take some small steps in our direction.
As you mentioned, the United States is in negotiation with Iran over Iran's nuclear program, and there are some talks and reports about possible collaboration with Iran against ISIL. Do you think Amir's case should be included in any of these negotiations?
I don't think it should be part of the negotiation, in that I don't believe that it would make sense for the United States to make concessions on Iran's nuclear capabilities in exchange for the release of any political prisoner. The negotiations, however, do provide an opportunity, provide space for those conversations. And I think for Iran, I think they must recognize that the global community will not see any negotiated agreement in the same light that it would if it holds an American prisoner, an innocent man prisoner. So in some ways it's almost both. It can't be a part of a negotiation, it can't be one of the elements of a negotiation, but the fact that those negotiations are taking place provides an opportunity for discussion, and I think it also provides an opportunity for Iran to demonstrate that it's serious when it chooses to try to re-enter the global community. And the most positive and tangible demonstration of that seriousness, of course, would be to release Mr. Hekmati.
Have you heard of any request of prisoner exchange by the Iranian side?
I have not, and I have not been engaged in the direct negotiations that are really informal discussions. I know that that's always a possibility. Our goal is really just to continue to raise this case so that under whatever circumstance might occur, Iran would see the release of Mr. Hekmati as a positive indication to the rest of the world, and particularly to the United States, as we're trying to create a relationship that has really been absent for 35 years.
Exactly. Just one. Oh, so for what would you like the Iranian officials who will be watching this interview to know, and what will they gain from releasing of Mr. Hekmati?
Well, first of all, as the representative of the Hekmati family, I want to advocate for my constituent. He's an innocent man. He simply traveled to Iran to see his family, people he had never met. He traveled on his own name. It's the first time he had ever been there. That his father is quite ill, and I would want them to understand that as a humanitarian gesture, it would mean a lot to me, to the family, to the American people, that they would release him. It's also important, though, that Iran understand that as a member of Congress, I'm asked every single day by other members of Congress what is happening with Amir Hekmati. So it's not just the American people, but their political representatives, the Congress of the United States, would make a difference in the way Congress views Iran, and make a difference in terms of the way Congress views Iran's engagement, whether in the P5+1 negotiation, or as a member of the region that is obviously such a troubled region, if they were to take this step of releasing him. So I would want them to understand that we are watching, and it really does matter what they do.
Great. Thank you.
Thank you very much.